In a world obsessed with achievement, accolades, and external validation, the pursuit of success often overshadows a deeper, more enduring quest, meaning. Though the two may appear to overlap, they represent fundamentally different approaches to life. Understanding the distinction between success and meaning can transform not only the way we live, but also how we feel about the lives we lead. Success is often framed by society as the attainment of goals, especially those tied to status, wealth, or reputation. It's measurable, visible, and frequently admired. From early education to career aspirations, we're conditioned to chase after milestones like high-paying jobs, luxury possessions, and public recognition. But success, as socially defined, is often fleeting. A promotion brings satisfaction for a few months. A new car, once coveted, becomes ordinary. Even fame fades, leaving behind a void that achievement alone cannot fill. This cycle often leads people to wonder, is this all there is? Meaning, on the other hand, is internal. It's about purpose, values, and connection. Living meaningfully means aligning your actions with what truly matters to you, whether that's relationships, service, creativity, spirituality, or personal growth. Unlike success, meaning isn't always flashy or applauded. It might even involve sacrifice or struggle, but it provides a deep sense of fulfillment and peace. Whereas success is focused on what I can get, meaning asks, what can I give? It shifts attention from ego to essence, from climbing the ladder to building something that matters. Psychologists like Viktor Frankl, author of Man's Search for Meaning, have long argued that meaning is more fundamental to human well-being than success. Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, observed that those who endured suffering with a sense of purpose were far more resilient. In modern studies, people who report high levels of meaning also tend to experience lower rates of depression and anxiety, even if they are not traditionally successful. Success may bring pleasure, but meaning brings depth. Success can be externally rewarded. Meaning is internally experienced. Success makes you feel important. Meaning makes life feel important. Success often depends on circumstances, the right job offer, the right market conditions, the right connections. As such, it's vulnerable to change and loss. Meaning, by contrast, is more enduring. Even in hardship, people can find meaning. Caring for a loved one, standing up for justice, expressing themselves through art. Consider a nurse working long, exhausting hours. She may not be rich or famous, but if she believes in the importance of her work and feels it contributes to others' lives, she's living meaningfully. Compare this to someone earning millions in a job they hate, counting down the days to retirement. One may be successful, the other is fulfilled. One of the reasons people conflate success with meaning is cultural messaging. We are bombarded with narratives that equate a good life with financial abundance, popularity, and status. This leads many to pursue success as a substitute for meaning. But when success is no longer satisfying, the emptiness that follows can be disorienting. That's why some of the most outwardly successful people, celebrities, CEOs, athletes, struggle privately with identity crises, burnout, and dissatisfaction. They reach the summit of what society celebrates, only to find the view underwhelming. It's not that success is bad or meaningless. Success can be a byproduct of living with purpose. When your work aligns with your values, recognition and rewards often follow. But success should be the result of meaning, not the replacement for it. The healthiest path is to pursue goals that resonate with your deeper values. When your definition of success includes impact, authenticity, and contribution, it begins to feel meaningful. In this way, meaning and success can work together, but only if meaning leads. As more people reflect on what really matters, especially in the wake of global challenges and personal upheavals, there's a growing recognition that the pursuit of success alone is not enough. A life rich in meaning, even if modest by external standards, can feel deeply successful in the truest sense. The difference between meaning and success is simple yet profound. Success is what the world tells you to chase. Meaning is what your soul longs to live. When you choose meaning, success finds its proper place, not as the destination, but as a companion on the journey. In our achievement-driven culture, success is often seen as the ultimate pathway to happiness. We strive to climb corporate ladders, accumulate wealth, earn degrees, and win accolades. Believing these milestones will bring us lasting fulfillment. But over time, many high achievers discover that success alone doesn't lead to sustained happiness. Instead, it's purpose, a clear sense of why we're here and who we're meant to be that truly fuels lasting well-being. At first glance, it seems logical. Succeed more, be happier. After all, success can provide comfort, freedom, and social respect. But the satisfaction it brings is often short-lived. Psychologists call this phenomenon the hedonic treadmill. As soon as one goal is achieved, we adjust to it and set our sights on the next. What once thrilled us becomes the new normal, creating a cycle of endless striving without enduring contentment. A promotion feels amazing until the new responsibilities overwhelm us. A dream car brings joy until it needs repairs. The applause fades, the novelty wears off, and we're left wondering what it was all for. When we live with purpose, our happiness isn't dependent on external conditions. We can find joy even in difficulty because we know our actions matter. A teacher who struggles with a low salary may still feel deeply fulfilled by shaping young minds. A parent who sacrifices for their children may experience a rich inner satisfaction no trophy could ever match. Research consistently supports the idea that a sense of purpose enhances overall well-being. People who report high levels of purpose experience greater life satisfaction, lower levels of depression and anxiety, improved physical health, increased longevity. In a study by the University of Michigan, older adults with a strong sense of purpose were found to live longer and healthier lives, even after accounting for other health factors. Another study published in the Journal of Positive Psychology showed that those who felt they had a purpose were more resilient in the face of adversity. Happiness derived from purpose is more sustainable because it's not about momentary pleasure, it's about connection, contribution, and coherence. When people feel they are part of something larger than themselves, whether a cause, community, or spiritual belief, they report higher levels of happiness. This is because purpose fuels a sense of belonging and significance. It shifts the focus from self-promotion to service. Instead of asking, what can I gain? We ask, what can I give? This mindset leads to more meaningful relationships, greater empathy, and a deeper sense of identity. It also protects against feelings of emptiness, especially during difficult or transitional times in life when outward markers of success may disappear. To be clear, success is not inherently bad. It can be meaningful when it flows from purpose. An artist who succeeds financially while staying true to their creative vision can feel incredibly fulfilled. A business owner who solves real problems and uplifts their community may experience both success and purpose in harmony. But problems arise when success is the end goal rather than the byproduct of meaningful action. Pursuing success without purpose is like climbing a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Purpose doesn't require perfection, it requires alignment. When your actions align with what matters most to you, joy follows naturally. The pursuit of success is not wrong, but it is incomplete. Lasting happiness comes not from external validation, but from internal alignment. Purpose turns every action into something sacred. It transforms hardship into growth, routine into ritual, and life into a legacy. When we live with purpose, we're not just chasing moments of happiness, we're cultivating a life of meaning. And in that deeper soil, true and lasting joy takes root. Discovering your purpose in life isn't about stumbling upon a lightning bolt of clarity or waiting for a sign from the universe. It's a deliberate, often gradual journey inward, one that involves self-awareness, reflection, and honest exploration. While the modern world pushes us toward external achievements, the pursuit of purpose demands that we look within. So how do you begin this powerful process? Let's explore the key steps and principles that can help you uncover your true purpose. Before you begin, it's crucial to redefine what purpose really means. Purpose is not necessarily tied to a specific job or role. It's not about fame, fortune, or perfection. Rather, your purpose is your internal compass. It's what gives your life direction, meaning, and energy. Think of purpose as the deep why behind your choices. It's the fuel that helps you get out of bed, even when life feels heavy. It's the quiet, persistent voice that says, this matters. These moments point toward your passions, and passion often intersects with purpose. Oddly enough, your wounds can also reveal your purpose. Many people discover their calling through hardship. A survivor of cancer becomes an advocate. Someone who struggled with mental health becomes a therapist. Someone who experienced injustice becomes a reformer. Patterns often point to your natural gifts and core motivations. Purpose tends to flourish where these elements converge. These aren't questions with immediate answers. Sit with them, journal about them, discuss them with trusted friends or mentors. Let them simmer, and eventually clarity will rise. Purpose isn't just discovered, it's built through experience. Sometimes the only way to find your why is by doing. Try volunteering, take a class, start a side project, shadow someone in a field you're curious about. Push past perfectionism and give yourself permission to explore. Each experiment, even if it doesn't fit, teaches you something valuable. Over time, you begin to sense what feels aligned and what doesn't. At the heart of every purpose is a set of values. Your values are the principles you believe in most deeply, like compassion, freedom, growth, justice, or creativity. When your actions reflect your values, you feel authentic and fulfilled. When you violate them, even if you're successful, something feels off. Finally, remember, discovering your purpose isn't a one-time revelation. It evolves as you grow. What feels purposeful in your 20s may shift in your 40s, and that's okay. The key is to live with intentionality. Keep asking, listening, and adjusting. Stay curious. Trust your intuition. And don't wait for everything to be perfect. Begin with what you know and let the path unfold. You don't need to have it all figured out to start living with purpose. In fact, it's in the doing, not the dreaming, that clarity comes. Purpose is less about finding the one right answer and more about following the threads of curiosity, service, and truth. When you live on purpose, life stops being just something that happens to you. It becomes something you co-create day by day, decision by decision, in alignment with what truly matters. In a society driven by metrics, likes, followers, salaries, titles, success is often mistaken for fulfillment. We celebrate those who climb the corporate ladder, amass wealth, or achieve public recognition. Yet beneath the glitter of achievement, many successful people quietly admit to feeling empty, anxious, or disconnected. Why? Because success without meaning is like a vessel without water, appealing on the outside, but ultimately hollow inside. Success, by popular standards, is usually defined by tangible achievements, financial security, job promotions, awards, and social status. These accomplishments can bring satisfaction, but it is often short-lived. Psychologists refer to this phenomenon as the arrival fallacy, the belief that once we reach a certain goal, we'll finally feel happy and complete. But when people arrive at that destination and still feel a void, they often experience confusion or disappointment. They wonder, I did everything I was supposed to. Why don't I feel fulfilled? Meaning, unlike success, is about internal alignment. It's the feeling that your life and actions are connected to something greater than yourself. It involves purpose, passion, and contribution. When your days are infused with meaning, even mundane tasks feel worthwhile. When they aren't, even the grandest achievements can feel irrelevant. Success feeds the ego. Meaning feeds the soul. Studies have shown that people who are intrinsically motivated, driven by meaning or purpose, report higher levels of life satisfaction than those motivated solely by external rewards. In fact, people who pursue goals rooted in their core values and interests are more likely to maintain well-being even during times of stress. Without meaning, success can feel like a treadmill, constant motion with no real destination. When success becomes the sole goal, people may sacrifice everything else: relationships, health, hobbies, or personal ethics. They conform to what society deems important rather than tuning into what feels authentic. Over time, this disconnection breeds emotional fatigue, dissatisfaction, and even depression. Success can also become addictive. As each achievement fades, people chase the next, hoping it will finally fill the void. But without a deeper why, this pursuit often becomes a joyless cycle. It's important to note that success isn't inherently bad. When aligned with personal meaning, it can be deeply fulfilling. A writer who pens books to inspire change may find both purpose and success. A doctor who heals patients not just for prestige, but out of genuine compassion, is likely to feel both accomplished and content. Success without meaning may win applause, but it doesn't light up your life. It may bring recognition, but not resonance. True fulfillment comes when success becomes a vehicle for expressing your values, passions, and purpose, not a replacement for them. So pursue success, but let it be the result of a meaningful life, not the reason for it. Purpose is often seen as a philosophical or emotional concept, but mounting research reveals its profound impact on both mental and physical health. Far from being just a lofty idea, having a sense of purpose is a powerful predictor of well-being across nearly every domain of life. From reducing anxiety to strengthening the immune system, purpose isn't just about meaning, it's about survival, resilience, and vitality. Let's explore how purpose influences mental clarity, emotional resilience, and even your body's biological functioning. People with a defined purpose report significantly lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. Why? Because purpose provides a framework for understanding life's challenges. It acts as a buffer, helping individuals interpret setbacks not as random misfortunes, but as stepping stones or necessary trials on a larger journey. One notable study published in JAMA Network Open followed over 6,000 adults over a decade. It found that those with a higher sense of purpose had a significantly reduced risk of dying from any cause, especially cardiovascular conditions. How does this happen? Biologically. Purpose reduces chronic stress, which in turn lowers harmful inflammation and cortisol levels. It also promotes healthier behaviors. People with purpose are more likely to exercise, eat well, and avoid harmful habits. Purpose even affects your brain's chemistry. Neuroimaging studies have shown that when people engage in purposeful thought or activity, regions associated with reward and self-control, like the prefrontal cortex, become more active. This means purpose not only makes people feel better, but also supports healthier decision-making and emotional regulation. Purpose gives the brain a narrative, a way to link events together into a coherent story. This cognitive framework reduces confusion, cognitive dissonance, and mental fatigue. During periods of trauma or uncertainty, whether a job loss, a global pandemic, or the death of a loved one, purpose can act as a psychological immune system. People with purpose interpret suffering differently. Instead of seeing pain as meaningless, they frame it as part of a larger calling or journey. This capacity to reinterpret and reframe is essential to mental strength. As Viktor Frankl observed, people who held on to meaning were more likely to endure and even grow through suffering. We often look to medicine to fix problems after they occur, but what if purpose could help prevent them? A purposeful life leads people to build strong social connections, maintain healthier habits, and reduce risky behaviors, all of which lower the likelihood of illness and disease. This makes purpose not just a wellness booster, but a proactive health strategy. It encourages long-term thinking and prioritization of what matters, which, in turn, nurtures both mind and body. Purpose isn't a miracle cure, but it is one of the most robust predictors of mental and physical well-being. It helps regulate our thoughts, support our behaviors, and literally shape how our body functions. When life has meaning, the mind becomes clearer and the body more resilient. So if you want to thrive, not just survive, don't just eat well or exercise. Ask why you wake up in the morning. The answer could be the healthiest choice you ever make. The idea of having one grand, unchanging life purpose can be both inspiring and intimidating. Many people believe they must discover a single ultimate calling and pursue it unwaveringly for life to have meaning. But the truth is more nuanced and more liberating. A person's purpose can absolutely change over time, and often should. Just as people evolve emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually, their sense of purpose matures as well. Life isn't static, and neither is what makes it meaningful. Each of these stages involves a legitimate, authentic form of purpose, even if they are drastically different. Major disruptions often force people to reevaluate their purpose. A job loss, divorce, health scare, or existential crisis can make you question everything. But these moments are not just breaking points, they can be turning points. Purpose that survives a crisis often emerges more resilient, focused, and deep. It's not uncommon for people to discover their most meaningful path only after a significant upheaval. Our purpose is closely tied to our identity, and as our self-concept evolves, so too does our mission. Someone who once sought to prove themselves may later seek to serve others. Someone who once chased independence might find deep purpose in interdependence. This shift doesn't negate your earlier purpose. It builds upon it. Your past pursuits, even if they no longer fit, were stepping stones to a fuller understanding of who you are. It's also possible to have more than one purpose over a lifetime, or even at the same time. You might find deep meaning in your work, your family, your creative projects, and your spiritual journey, each playing a different role in your identity and fulfillment. Rather than choosing just one purpose, think of purpose as a constellation, an evolving pattern of passions, relationships, and contributions that light your path. Purpose is not a fixed destination. It's a living, breathing process. It changes as you grow, as life shapes you, and as you learn more about what truly matters. Embracing this fluidity doesn't weaken your sense of meaning, it enriches it. You don't need to cling to a single life purpose to live a meaningful life. Instead, embrace the journey. Allow your purpose to evolve, deepen, and surprise you. In doing so, you remain open to becoming the person you were always meant to be. In an era defined by speed, stimulation, and screens, the idea of a deeply meaningful life can feel elusive, if not unrealistic. While modern society offers unprecedented convenience and opportunity, it also presents constant distractions that can pull us away from what truly matters. The noise is louder than ever, and unless we're intentional, we may find ourselves living reactively instead of purposefully. So how exactly does modern life steer us away from meaning, and how can we resist the drift? Modern life idolizes productivity. We're told to hustle, grind, and maximize every moment. But this relentless drive for achievement often leads to a packed schedule and an empty soul. Being busy gives the illusion of importance, but it can also prevent the reflection and stillness required to connect with a deeper purpose. When every moment is filled with tasks and to-dos, we have no room left for introspection, connection, or creativity. The soil in which meaning grows. Smartphones, social media, streaming platforms, and news alerts ensure we're always connected, but rarely present. The average person checks their phone hundreds of times per day, often without realizing it. While technology has incredible benefits, it also fragments our attention and shortens our ability to focus. More importantly, constant digital stimulation crowds out silence, and silence is where meaning speaks. When we're endlessly entertained, we're less likely to ask life's deeper questions. Who am I? What really matters to me? How do I want to live? We live in a consumer society that equates happiness with accumulation. Advertisements and influencers subtly and not so subtly suggest that buying more clothes, more gadgets, more experiences will bring fulfillment. But the pursuit of more often leads to a cycle of desire, momentary pleasure, and dissatisfaction. Meaning doesn't come from what we own, it comes from how we live and love. Yet consumerism trains us to focus on image over substance, gratification over growth, and novelty over depth. Social media platforms turn other people's curated lives into our personal measuring sticks. This fuels comparison, envy, and self-doubt. We start living for likes instead of for legacy. We seek applause instead of alignment. The more we chase other people's versions of success, the more we risk abandoning our own purpose. Meaning requires authenticity, but comparison seduces us into imitation. With so many options and experiences at our fingertips, modern society fosters a constant fear of missing out. We feel pressure to say yes to everything, afraid that choosing one path means closing off others. But a meaningful life is built on depth, not breadth. True fulfillment comes not from doing everything, but from doing the right things, those aligned with our values, strengths, and passions. FOMO distracts us from commitment, which is essential for building anything meaningful. As cities expand and screens multiply, many people feel increasingly isolated from each other and from the natural world. Yet connection is one of the deepest sources of meaning. Time in nature, shared meals, deep conversations, and community rituals all nourish the soul. Modern life often replaces these with shallow interactions and surface-level content, leaving us craving depth we can't name. Modern society doesn't make it easy to live meaningfully, but it doesn't make it impossible. The key is to step off autopilot and start living by design rather than by default. Meaning isn't found in more noise, more speed, or more stuff. It's found in presence, purpose, and connection. By choosing depth over distraction, we reclaim our power to live not just busier lives, but better ones. In a world of constant distraction, stress, and competing demands, living with intention might sound like a luxury, but it's actually a psychological necessity. Intentional living means making conscious choices based on your values, goals, and sense of purpose. Rather than reacting to life, you lead it. When we live with intention, we experience profound psychological benefits that ripple through every aspect of our well-being, from emotional balance to personal fulfillment. Living intentionally helps eliminate the clutter, mental, emotional, and physical. When you know what matters most, you can filter out what doesn't. This reduces decision fatigue and mental overload. Rather than being pulled in 100 directions, your energy is directed with precision. This clarity creates a calmer mind, enhances focus, and reduces the anxiety that often stems from ambiguity or overcommitment. Intentionality cultivates a sense of agency. You feel in control, not because you control outcomes, but because you control your response. This reduces helplessness, one of the major drivers of stress and anxiety. Moreover, when your actions align with your values, you're less likely to experience internal conflict. This alignment leads to greater peace of mind and emotional stability. When challenges arise, people who live with intention are better equipped to cope. Why? Because they have a clear why to fall back on. Adversity feels more manageable when it's in service of a greater purpose. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about bouncing forward with insight. Intentional individuals are more likely to grow through hardship, not just endure it. There's something profoundly empowering about making choices that reflect your true self. Living intentionally reinforces the belief that your life is your own to shape. Each decision becomes a vote for your values, and over time, this builds trust in yourself. As confidence grows, so does courage. The courage to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what does, even if it's unpopular or uncomfortable. Intentional living isn't just about your internal world. It affects how you relate to others. When you live with purpose and presence, you bring more authenticity to your relationships. You listen more deeply, speak more honestly, and connect more meaningfully. You're also more likely to surround yourself with people who support your growth and align with your values, creating a network that strengthens your psychological well-being. Fulfillment is not the same as happiness. Happiness is often fleeting, a spike of pleasure or success. Fulfillment is deeper. It's the quiet satisfaction that comes from living in alignment with your truth. Living with intention leads to a life that feels coherent. Your actions make sense in the context of who you are and what you believe. This coherence fosters a deep, abiding sense of meaning and satisfaction. Intentional living naturally fosters mindfulness, the ability to be fully present. You're not just going through the motions, you're aware of your choices and engaged with the moment. This mindfulness enhances emotional regulation, gratitude, and enjoyment of everyday experiences. It transforms the mundane into the meaningful. Living with intention is not about having all the answers or never making mistakes. It's about showing up with awareness and purpose. It's about choosing how you spend your time, who you become, and what legacy you leave. The psychological benefits of this way of living are profound. You become less reactive, more resilient, and more rooted. You trade confusion for clarity, stress for centeredness, and chaos for coherence. In a reactive world, intention is a quiet form of revolution, and it begins with a single conscious choice. Purpose is not a distant ideal, it's a way of living. While many people envision purpose as a singular, life-defining mission, its real power lies in how it shapes our everyday decisions, behaviors, and habits. When our daily actions reflect our deeper values and goals, life becomes more coherent, energized, and fulfilling. So how do we bridge the gap between intention and action, between what we want to stand for and how we actually live? Here's how to align your day-to-day life with a greater sense of purpose. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand. It could be to create beauty, to serve others, to pursue truth, or to raise a loving family. The key is clarity. Write it down. Revisit it often. Let it guide you. Values are the foundation of purpose. They are the principles you want to embody every day, like compassion, honesty, creativity, growth, or justice. When your actions reflect these values, you feel aligned. When they don't, you experience discomfort or disconnection. Make a list of your top 5 values, then evaluate whether your current routines, relationships, and work reflect them. One of the best indicators of alignment is how you spend your time. Look at your calendar. Does it reflect your values and priorities, or is it filled with obligations that drain you? Saying yes to everything is a fast track to burnout and misalignment. When you know your purpose, You can say no with clarity, not guilt. Every yes to something meaningless is a no to something meaningful. Boundaries protect your energy, time, and attention for what truly matters. Not every task is glamorous. Dishes still need to be washed, bills still need to be paid, but even these moments can reflect purpose when approached with the right mindset. Purpose isn't a finish line, it's a daily practice. It's found not just in what we dream of becoming, but in how we act in the next hour, the next conversation, the next choice. When our actions consistently reflect our deepest values and aims, life stops feeling like a series of disconnected events. It becomes a story we're proud to live, a story of integrity, impact, and meaning. The alignment of daily actions with purpose is the difference between drifting through life and designing it, and that design begins right now with the next choice you make.